Hare Krishna, welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today's speaker is His Grace Braj Mohan Prabhuji. Braj Mohan Prabhuji will speak on the topic of 9 reasons for Narad Muni instigating Kansa. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, are you present on the call?
Prabhuji is joining. Just give 2 minutes, okay? Mataji.
Okay. Hare Krishna, welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today's speaker is His Grace Braj Mohan Prabhuji. Prabhuji will speak on the topic of 9 reasons for Narad Muni instigating Kansa. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much Prabhuji for giving your valuable time and dedication to us this morning and enlightening us on this topic. I now hand over the call to you Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So let us offer prayers before we start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Prabhuji, can you please come closer to the mic? We can hardly hear you.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Sarijana Saritam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Sagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Prabhuji, Prabhuji, sorry. Is it possible to come closer?
Hare
The
Krishna.
voice is extremely low.
The voice is still unclear?
Yes, Prabhuji. It feels very, very low.
Hare Krishna. What about now?
Perfect. Thank you.
What about now? Is the voice better?
Yes, very much. Very nice. Yes.
Okay. I was using earphones, so maybe that wasn't working well.
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna, very happy to be again on this online Sangha. I haven't been on the online Sangha with devotees for maybe 2-3 months because I myself was in America last 2-3 months, and although the organizers were asking me to give class because it's morning time there and I'm usually in some temple or some program, it wasn't suiting me. But now that I'm back in India, the timings work well for me, very engaged. So, and as you are all eagerly awaiting, or as we are all eagerly awaiting Sri Krishna Janmashtami in 2-3 days, Vinaya Mataji and Shamgori Mataji asked me to speak about something from the Krishna Janma, and I was just reading few commentaries and few books, and this theme really stuck to me. So this comes in the section of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, verse 61. So we'll take three verses, and then we'll come to the discussion. So 10:161 is Tateti Sutamadaya Yaya Vanakadundubi Nabhyananda Tatakyam Naha. Took his child back home, but because Kamsa had no character and no self-control, Vasudev knew that he could not rely on Kamsa's word. Nandadayaye vrajagopaye Ashamisham cha yoshita Vrishnayo Vasudevadya Devakadya Yadustriya Sarve vai devata praya Ubhayorapi bharata Gnatayo bandhu surudo Yetya kamsam anuvrata. The inhabitants of Vrindavan, headed by Nanda Maharaj and including his associate cowherd men and their wives, were none but denizens of heavenly planets. O Maharaj Parikshit, best of the descendants of Bharata. And so too were the descendants of Vishnu dynasty, headed by Vasudeva and Devaki, and the other women of the dynasty of Yadu. The friends, relatives, and well-wishers of both Nanda Maharaj and Vasudeva, and even those who externally appeared to be followers of Kamsa, were all demigods. Let's read the purport. As previously discussed, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu informed Lord Brahma that Lord Krishna would personally descend to mitigate the suffering of the earth. The Lord ordered all the denizens of the heavenly planets to take birth in different families of the Yadu and Vishnu dynasties and in Vrindavan. Now this verse informs us that all the friends and family and friends of Yadu dynasty, the Vishnu dynasty, Nanda Maharaj and the Gopas descended from the heavenly planets to see the pastimes of the Lord. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4.8, the Lord's pastimes consist of Paritranaya Sadhuna, Vinashaya Chadushkratam, saving the devotees and killing the demons. To demonstrate these activities, the Lord called for devotees from different parts of the universe. There are many devotees who are elevated to the higher planetary systems. Prapya punya kritan lokan ushitva shashvati sama suchinam shrimatam gehe yoga brashto vijayate. The unsuccessful yogi, after many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities, is born into a family of the righteous people or into the family of rich aristocracy. Some devotees, having failed to complete the process of devotional service, are promoted to the heavenly planets, to which the pious are elevated, and after enjoying there, they may be directly promoted to the place where the Lord's pastimes are going on. When Lord Krishna was to appear, the denizens of heavenly planets were invited to see the pastimes of the Lord, and that it is stated that the members of Yadu and Vishnu dynasties and the inhabitants of Vrindavan were demigods or almost as good as demigods. Even those who externally help the activities of Kamsa belong to the higher planetary systems. The imprisonment and release of Vasudeva and the killing of various demons were all manifestations of the pastimes of the Lord, and because the devotees would be pleased to see the activities personally, they were all invited to take birth as relatives and friends and relatives of these families. As confirmed in the prayers of Queen Kunti, Nato Natya Dharo Yata, the Lord was to play the part of a demon killer and a friend, son and brother to his devotees, and thus these devotees were all summoned. So, the birth of Krishna is quite eventful. Unlike any, of course, Lord Narasimha's birth is also eventful in the sense when it happened, but the prelude to appearance of Krishna has so many lessons that in what consciousness a devotee has to be there for the Lord to appear in one's life. And as we see that the pastimes of the Lord, especially Krishna Lila, they have a eternal place, that they are eternally being performed. They are a universal solution, that the universe was being planned to be hijacked, to be taken over by the demons, and the demons till Krishna Lila, they were trying to take over the Earth planet and other planets by just being demons. And when they were highly unsuccessful, especially after Vamanadeva was born and Bali Maharaj and everybody was defeated, Samudra Manthan Lila, so they decided that if you try to take by power, it's not going to happen. And therefore they plotted to take over the planet through birth, because through birth naturally you inherit property. You inherit, if you take birth in a Kshatriya family, naturally you just get all the property. So that was the plan by which, and all the devatas are under the control, are dependent on the yajnas, and if the devatas become weakened by not performing the yajnas, and the yajnas are mainly done by the kshatriyas who fund these yajnas, and if kshatriyas become unruly and they become adharmic, then the whole universe, so this was a plot that comes, all the Rakshasas, they plotted that this time in the last time when Krishna came as Vamana, we just try to use power, and Krishna used his intelligence and came and begged. So this time we are going to take birth in the families of the human beings, and that way we are going to become powerful, naturally getting all the property, and then also doing a lot of tapasya, because they are naturally very powerful beings. So on the universal scene, this was a whole ploy to take over the whole universe. And then this Krishna Lila also is a eternal truth, it's a universal truth, and it's a external truth where we see that there is always good versus the bad, the people who are trying to follow the dharma, and then people who are against dharma. So how there is always a strife, there is a fight, and it is also an internal truth that the pastimes of the Lord, all these demons and the good qualities, they are also present in our heart. So therefore Krishna Lila is a reality at these four levels: eternally, universally, externally, and internally. And a devotee has to see its manifestation in all these four levels, and that way when a devotee sees a pastime, he sees it in its completion. If you just try to make it an internal truth, then many times, as other people, it becomes a symbolic thing. And if you just try to make it an external truth, then there is all kind of isms keep coming, that okay, this section of people are good, this section of people are bad. So so here the devatas, they were requested by Vishnu, when they all went to pray to Lord Vishnu, please help us, these demons on the earth planet, especially Mother Bhumi. She was not able to tolerate the dharma, so when she went and requested, and so all the devatas were also accompanying, that yes Lord, it's not just a problem on the earth, but it's a shared problem. The problem is not at one place, everywhere the problem is being expanded, is being there. So please, and then the Lord engages them in service. And this is an important principle, that solutions will not come without us doing anything. It's not that the Lord will do everything, and the devotee just has to sit and watch or pray. But the devotee also has to take active part in cleansing of these anarthas or the demons that are present. So, and surprisingly, the whole trouble starts on the day of marriage, Devaki and Vasudev's marriage. I was just telling recently that in many households I know, something happens wrong on the day of the marriage, and then that thing just keeps escalating and keeps bugging everyone in the house. And in Ram Lila, the whole trouble started not when Lord Ram got married, but when he had to get coronated, when he had to become a king. Then the trouble started. So whenever we are going to take up a position, someone or other is going to get worried, is going to get upset, and and we have a lot to learn and from the example of Devaki and Vasudev. And Srila Prabhupada explains, especially from Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur's purport, that Devaki represents bhakti and Vasudev represents the highest stage of intelligence, which is called as the Vasudeva platform. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam, as Lord Shiva also acknowledged in the 4th canto that the highest level of consciousness is the Vasudeva state. So Vasudeva represents that. So Vasudeva represents intelligence, and we need to use our intelligence vesselously to safeguard our bhakti. And therefore in the Bhagavad Gita, one of the most commonly used words by Lord Krishna referring to Bhakti Yoga is Buddhi Yoga. And why he refers to Bhakti Yoga as Buddhi Yoga is that if we don't apply the intelligence properly, many times the forces of the material nature will just massacre our bhakti. And therefore even Prabhupada, when he defines utsaha, enthusiasm, he also defines enthusiasm as endeavors executed with intelligence. And usually as neophytes, the tendency is that we create a mess of our bhakti or our life. Either in the name of bhakti we neglect our day-to-day realities, we neglect bhakti. There are two realities that every devotee has to be aware. One is that death can come at any moment, and another reality which is equally true, that death will not come for everyone tomorrow. And are we prepared for both situations? Both are realities, that not everybody is going to die tomorrow, and if you're not prepared to live properly as days come by, then you'll face issues. And if you're not prepared in the ultimate sense that death can come at any moment, and are you prepared to leave everything in the Sadhu Sangha retreat? The 3rd day I came to United States, I was excited to go and attend Sadhu Sangha retreat, and during the kirtan, one of the devotees was very merciful, and he was dancing with me, and somehow his hard leg bruised my leg, and I had a fracture. And with fracture, of course, I had to roam all over the America. I was every class I was giving, every flight I was taking, I was remembering the verse Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim. That if Guru is merciful, then even a langda, even a lame man can cross mountains. So I was flying, I was going to different programs. Of course, devotees arranged everything. And just after I came here, I could act properly, show to the doctor, and doctor had put a bandage. And just today, when I was removing the bandage, it stuck so bad to my feet. With every tearing, it was paining so much. And it is so difficult once we use something. The usual tendency that we get so used to that, we just so get involved and attached to that, it just doesn't leave you. Initially it was helpful for me, but then after a while, and then I was researching on Google that is there a way by which you can easily remove the bandage. And then as expected, United States, they have a solution for everything. They have a product for everything. And then I found, of course I didn't order the product, then I found they sell a solution, and the name of that solution is called Detachol. Like we have Dettol, so, or alcohol, they have Detachol. And what that chemical does is, once you pour that chemical, then whatever is that strong binding that is there between the skin and the tape, it gets loosened and then it can easily remove. And I was thinking actually of the process of bhakti is that Detachol. That when we take to bhakti, then it becomes easy for us to let go of the situations. And it was for a girl to get married and on the first day to experience something like this, chaos all around, uncertainty all through, is not at all something that a newlywed girl will expect. But when it happened, how did they respond? And the response of Devaki and Vasudeva to how they accepted Krishna's will in their life is what makes them qualified to receive Krishna in their life. Therefore, one of the names of Vasudeva is Shauri, that means hero. And a real hero is when you know that this is the path that Krishna wants me to walk, and you know that path is not at all pleasurable for you. Are you still willing to walk that path, or you choose a path that is comfortable for you? And so Vasudeva had to use he had to stand for dharma. At the same time, he has to understand the practicalities of the situation in which he was facing Kamsa trying to kill Devaki. So we have to stand for the principles, but we also have to understand that if we just blindly try to follow the principles of bhakti in this material world, then bhakti will be slaughtered right in front of us. And I've seen so many times when devotees don't apply their intelligence in properly balancing, then their kind of devotion doesn't remain a devotion. I know some devotees that were waking up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock to chant their rounds, but okay, it's not taking enough rest or this, and after a few days when their health breaks down, or they just leave everything and go and start a farm project, and then when some scorpion bites them or something that they never expected or not used to happens, then it's then they can't come back, and then maybe they blame their guru or blame someone or other. So the bhakti has to be practiced with a lot of intelligence, and the intelligence is one's own, and especially the consultation that we get from experienced devotees. And somehow Vasudeva convinces Kamsa to please, the danger is not now, the danger is with the 8th child, and let us go now. And if you see Kamsa was riding the chariot of Devaki and Vasudeva, and Krishna was riding the chariot of Arjuna. Arjuna was his, of course, nephew, not nephew, but his cousin. And here, Kamsa, Devaki was Kamsa's sister, and exactly same role that Krishna took for Arjuna, his cousin, Kamsa took for Devaki. And that is said, that is one of the reasons why the Akashvani happened, is the action seemed to be very right, trying to serve the devotees, but the whole intention in trying to serve the devotees was so selfish. It was just to show that I am also good man, good person. I also have a heart. And Prabhupada many times says this, that many times people follow some type of piety here and there just to show off to the world. And even in the Bhagavatam, that in the symptoms of Kali Yuga, it is said the dharma will be portrayed only for the purpose of yasha. Yes, just to show off that I am also pious, people will portray some kind of dharma. And Kamsa was trying to portray in front of everyone that how humble he is. But as soon as the Akashvani happened, immediately he had to take off that mask. It was too difficult for he was suffocating in that mask of being selfless, being humble, because his whole intention was now was not being served. And then when Kamsa tells them to go, and Devaki and Vasudev, when they have their first child, the child's name is Kirtiman, it was very difficult for Vasudev to bring the child, because it is adharma to go back on one's word, but it is also adharma to not protect one's child. So if he takes the child, he is adharmic. If he keeps the child, he is adharmic. And therefore this world is always a compromise. And he compromised that let my name, yes, apparently I'm not going to protect the child, but seeing the purpose of the Lord to appear, and especially it was not the immediate child, the eighth child, so therefore Kamsa, Vasudev takes the child to Kamsa, and Kamsa is just melted by seeing the small little boy and Vasudev's integrity. And then in the previous verse, as we read, that Kamsa just says, "You go, man. You are good." Sometimes the immigration officer or someone, they checks all our bags and they say, "I think you are good. You can go." The same way Kamsa, he just says that after all, this is not the eighth child that's going to be the cause of my death, so he can go. But Vasudev didn't believe. Vasudev was highly doubtful, and Bhagavatam says because he was not having character, asata, and avijja, he had no self-control. And our acharyas give 5 reasons why Vasudev didn't believe in the words of Kamsa. The first reason is that Vasudev understood that if the Lord had to come, the Lord only comes when the devotee's pain is unbearable. The Lord makes as a Nato Natyadhara, he makes entry at the last point of total breakdown. He doesn't come till then. And also they understood that how will we be in sorrow and pain if our children are alive? In fact, he was very happy that Kirtiman was being given back, but he doubted the words of Kamsa, because he knew that the Lord's manifestation will only happen when the sorrow and pain are unbearable, and we won't have proper consciousness in which the Lord will want to come, because we will be thinking that, see, by my intelligence and by my sweet words, I was able to avert the danger and the dependence on the Lord, that He is the ultimate protector, won't be there. So that was one reason why Vasudeva didn't believe in the words of Kamsa, that Kamsa is actually going to spare the child. The second reason is again that which I already said, when one is in joy and enjoyment, usually the Lord is not being ardently sought for, and that's why even one of the saints in India, he says that दुख में स्मरण सब करे, सुख में करे न कोई, सुख में सिमरन करे तो दुख क्यों है. That everybody remembers the Lord in times of danger, in times of distress, but no one remembers the Lord in times of happiness. And if people can remember the Lord in times of happiness, why will dangers at all come? So that was the second reason. The third reason was that the Devatas, they said that that Lord is going to come and kill Kamsa because of his atrocities. But if he is going to spare the children, he is actually doing a very pious activity. He is not evildoer, because he said, "You are evil Kamsa." He is not at all evil. So if Kamsa keep doing this, then the words of the Devatas, the Akashvani, will go wrong. So therefore, this cannot be true. And the fourth reason why Vasudeva didn't believe in the words of Kamsa was that the condition in which the child was spared was not that the child should be spared. It was not the mercy on the child. It was on the count, it was on the logic. That this child is not first, he is not eighth, he is the first. Therefore I am sparing him. And as soon as love, mercy have some conditions, they are not really compassion or mercy. If love has a reason, then it is not true love. Love is unconditional, causeless. And therefore Vasudeva understood that this compassion that he is showing can be averted any time, because there is this reasoning behind it. And as soon as there is some kind of doubt that comes into his mind that maybe the first will be the eighth will be the first or something else, then he is going to again come and kill. So the fifth reason, which Acharya has explained, is his senses are uncontrolled, Ajita Indriya. And because his senses are uncontrolled, he can he can do anything at any time. And usually when somebody comes into the sleigh of anger, as he just saw a year back, he was willing to kill his sister just because somebody said she is going to be the cause, and he was just uncontrollable. Right then and there, he had to really use so much of his energy to pacify Kamsa. So those bouts of anger can come at any moment, and it can again spoil the whole. So these are the 5 reasons that the Acharyas give, that Vasudeva didn't believe in the words of Kamsa. And when the kid was spared, when Devaki was so happy and so grateful to Kamsa, I knew my brother is not so bad. As you know, anyone that loves anyone, that you always try to find some reason that how that person is actually good. So she was praising the brother. Of course, Vasudeva was not believing the praise of him. And when this was happening, when Kamsa spared the first child of Devaki and Vasudeva, the universal, at the universal level, there was an alarm. All the Devatas became very worried. This means that the appearance of Krishna is going to get delayed, and somebody has to be the catalyst that goes and instigates Kamsa to not be nice. And this is where Narada Muni comes and tells Kamsa that I have a secret to tell you, and he starts to speak into his ear that all the Devatas, they have planned and they have come in all across Vrindavan, all across Mathura, in different dynasties, and Then it said that he gives him this flower that has 8 petals, and and then he says in this flower, which is the first, which is the 8, he creates so much doubt in the mind of Kamsa, and then Kamsa is totally lost, that did I just give away the chance for my safety just like that? And then many acharyas like Sridhar Swami and Vallabhacharya and Sri Subodhini and Jiva Goswami, they catch this. Every episode is like an event. If you try to read with all the purports, you just can't finish even one chapter in maybe 20 days. Especially Krishna Lila, everybody, all the acharyas are like, when the World Cup happens and every commentator has so much to speak about how the match is going, how this is happening. Same way the acharyas are in so much ecstasy just to speak, just to share the insights. So one of the acharyas, he give, and of course different acharyas give additions to this. So they said that how can Narada Muni, who is a devotee, cause trouble to another devotee? Usually devotees, we try to protect through our words, through our actions, through our prayers, our thoughts, other devotees. We never try to cause harm to other devotees, and if we any time try to cause harm to any devotee by our kayena manasa vacha, either through our thoughts or words or actions, then it's considered Vaishnava aparadh. And here Narada Muni is doing something that's going to be so painful for another set of devotees, Devaki and Vasudeva. And then they give 9 reasons why he did that. But before that, I just want to give a small comparison here between Kamsa and Narada. What Kamsa did was a right action of trying to serve the devotee, of trying to take the humble position of being a charioteer of Devaki and Vasudeva. But the whole intention was wrong. The whole intention was use that to get some weightage upon him, so that how good he is. So Kamsa had a right action but a wrong intention, and Narada Muni has a wrong action. That is wrong action or wrong words. He is coming and instigating Kamsa that how can you let go of your enemy's children? They are going to kill you, and you just let them go. So wrong words were spoken. So wrong action by Narada Muni. But because we don't understand the intention, so the intention was right of Narada Muni. And here, when we go through the 9 reasons, we'll see what was Narada Muni's intention in trying to provoke Kamsa. So right intention and wrong action, which is also many times misunderstood amidst devotees, that you may have the best of the intention in doing something, but if you don't put it across properly, then naturally devotees will misunderstand you. And sometimes you are doing everything properly, but over course of time, if the intention is not corrected, then that will also come out. There will be Akashvani, there will be a public humiliation that happens. And then when that happens, it's too difficult for us to take, just like for Kamsa. So, spoken all this, let's delve into the 9 reasons that Narada Muni instigated, and amazing, very sweet, very insightful reasons. And the first reason being that Narada Muni was so desperate to see the form of the Lord. Narada Muni, being a Mahabhagavat, he just was waiting, when will Krishna come? So therefore, just because, as soon as there was a delay, he just couldn't allow the delay to happen. He said that darshan should open now. That that there cannot be a delay in darshan. The darshan has to open on time. And so the Narada Muni wanted to derive personal joy by seeing the Lord, and his impatience in, like, as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu explains, that there is great samutkanta, there is great eagerness, there is great anticipation in when will Krishna be seen by the gopis or by the devotees. Same way, Narada Muni was greatly eager, and he was so eager that he was willing to do anything to make that happen, to see the Lord. I know devotees, sometimes they apparently tell all types of lies in their company or to their relatives, to go for yatras, to go and do some service. And so Narada Muni is our acharya for that. He was so impatient that he was willing to accrue a bad name for eternity, that he instigated Kamsa, because of whom the whole thing happened. The whole violence was there. All the 6 children were massacred. But he was willing to go through all that, just so that Lord's form can be seen. He can see the form. So that was his personal joy. And along with the personal joy, there was also institutional need. The institutional need, the universal need, that the demigods, they were more worried than Narada, because Narada, being a pure devotee, whether there is atrocity or not, he can always, by remembering, like Prahlad, being Prahlad's guru, he can be beyond it in spite of going through the trouble. But the devatas are not like that. Devatas need comfortable situation to practice their bhakti, and when those comforts are taken away, they need that, and therefore they were praying to Krishna. They were eagerly anticipating that when will Krishna come and remove their burden, remove their trouble. So they were worried, and because the plan will be delayed, and once the plan delays, it can delay. Once one child comes, second child comes, and third child comes. Sometimes there may be family planning. They may not. They may choose not to bring out the 8th child, just so that Kamsa is not pushing, and he may even propose that now that you have so many children, why didn't you stop? So never bring out the 8th child. I am treating you so nicely. So for the personal when you are personally catered to, sometimes it is also done that there is a trouble in the society, and somebody who is trying to fight for the trouble, the government or the leader sometimes tries to personally solve that person's trouble, so that he becomes quiet. The trouble continues for others, but that person who raises the voice, he is given facilities, or he is given some money to keep quiet. So same way, the devatas were worried that will Devaki and Vasudev's consciousness shift, that even Kamsa is not a bad person, and we don't really need Krishna to come. So it was not just being delayed. They were worried that the plan may get postponed, especially if the family planning happens. If they decide to not have any more children after 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. So therefore the devatas were very much afraid, fearful that how comes out, from where does this goodness come? And that goodness came because of Vasudev's integrity. And therefore, along with fulfilling personal desire of Narada Muni, he also matched that with the institutional desire, the institutional need that was there in the universe of the devatas. And this is a very important principle, that sometimes devotees just don't care about what is the needs of the society, and they just try to, oh, this is what I like to do, and sometimes or the devotees, they just try to think of themselves, like Devaki and Vasudeva could have thought of themselves, and that was a worry of the devatas, that if they just think about themselves and if they are happy, then they think the world is happy, then there will be trouble. So we have to take a lesson from this. And so Narada Muni, he coupled both of them. He coupled his personal need with the institutional need, and he went and did something that is not commonly done, to help a demon with the plans of the Lord. But the plan was to just to hasten the Lord's advent, so that Kamsa doesn't stop his violence, and especially when Kamsa starts to actually create violence. This was just fear that was created. Kamsa didn't do any harm before, he just threatened them. He was about to kill, but he didn't really kill the devotees. But now, when the devotees will really be pained by Kamsa, then that time the Lord's advent will really hasten, because the devatas know when the devotee is troubled, then the Lord cannot just wait. He has to come. So that's the second reason why the Lord comes, why Narada Muni instigates Kamsa to assist the plan of the devatas to bring the Lord faster. The third, which it's part of every reason as parts of the previous reasons, but specifically the acharyas are given these reasons. The third reason is, the more the evil Kamsa gets, and the more he troubles his devotees, the quicker the Lord will come, because the greater will be the desperation. And this is one thing that Krishna does, that Krishna makes. If it is said, if Vaikuntha is a place of appreciation, then Goloka is a place of desperation, and this world is a place of depression. So the whole journey is from depression to appreciation, and then from appreciation to desperation. He just makes the whole pastimes in Vrindavan, just he makes the devotees just lose their life, and at the last moment he gives them that thrill. Samo Krishna is like that, and we have to either accept that kind of Lord, or just be in the path of peace, Shanti Marg. So the third reason was that to make Kamsa very hateful, and not just about Krishna but also about the devotees. And that's why in this verse which we just spoke, the Narada Muni says that not just that the Akash Muni just spoke that the Krishna is going to come and kill you. The Lord is going to come and kill you. But till now he was not aware that even the devatas are going to come and take birth in all over the Vraj, all around him. So when he gets to know this, he becomes really paranoid, and right now his whole consciousness was only to kill Krishna, but now his focus shifts to devotees, and he starts to fear all the devotees, and he was trying to kill everyone that was around him. He couldn't believe anymore, and loving the devotees is a quick way to bring the Lord into our life, and also hating the devotees is also a quick way to bring the Lord's wrath in our life. So that's the third reason that the acharyas give, to increase the wrath of Kamsa on the devotees, because now that he knows that all around him there were devotees, and therefore he orders Bhutana to kill everyone. So that was another reason why Narada Muni instigated, so that he just doesn't focus on Bhagavan, but he also focuses on Bhaktas. Of course in a wrong way, but still a lesson is there for us. Third, so the fourth reason is the Narada Muni, he has he has heard about Krishna is going to take birth from Vasudeva and Devaki. That was the prediction. But why them? And although he may accept them, and it takes one to know one, like Narada Muni being a pure devotee, he had no doubt that whether Vasudeva and Devaki were pure devotees or not, but he wanted to show their greatness at first hand. Sometimes when we see some devotees getting some facilities, you may start to become envious that why is it that they are getting the facility and you are not getting it. But when it is displayed that how much they had to work hard, like I was just giving this example in Boston, that sometimes when we are going to sit in our economy class chair, they very intentionally place the entry not directly to the economy, but we have to pass few chairs of business class. Of course, that may be by design, but it's also a marketing gimmick that if these people see all these economy passengers when they are passing by, how comfortable is business class, and then they go and sit in this small little chairs, then they'll keep aspiring that one day I will sit in business class. And sometimes, like when I was first time coming to America, I had just at the turn when I was about to board, somebody was me. When I was about to board, the air hostess told me that, sir, you have been upgraded to a business class. And I was pleasantly surprised because I didn't pay any extra amount. So, and then the height of that was that when I was in business class, the air hostess that was attending to me was a devotee, and which was even something not thought of. So when you see somebody who is in business class, you may always envy them. Okay, he's getting this. But when you go to buy the ticket, then you see economy class is $1,000 ticket, and then business class starts from $4,000 ticket. And that time you say, oh, I can't pay so much price just to sleep. For one night, I'm willing to forego my sleep. Otherwise, if I pay $4,000 till I fly, I will not have proper sleep. That how can I spend so much money just to sleep in one flight? So when we see what price somebody has to pay for the facility that they are getting, then we normalize. Then we think, oh, yes, they deserve this. The same way, Narada Muni, he wanted to show that what is the quality of devotion of Devaki and Vasudeva, and therefore he himself wanted to first-hand experience and also show to the world their greatness. And to show this, he used this plot to create this violence. And what can be a greater test to a person, especially to a parent, than to kill his kids right in front of him? And the greatness of a person is judged by his ability to tolerate the greatest of the tribulation and temptations. And Devaki and Vasudeva, and it was not just to tolerate the kid that was being killed, but amidst both of them, they were not blaming each other that it is because of you this has happened. They were cooperatively working towards the same cause. Usually when something happens on the marriage day, the wife will keep nagging in the inner quarters that what kind of husband you are. You can't protect me from my in-laws or this. Or the husband, or usually when anything happens wrong after marriage, you usually consider to be because of the girl all this is happening. Neither did Vasudeva or Vasudeva's family was criticizing that as soon as Devaki was married, all the trouble started, so Devaki is the cause of the trouble. They were not blaming each other, nor they were cooperatively working towards fulfilling the mission of the Lord. All that was one of the most painful things to do. So therefore, when Vasudeva had to take the kid to Kamsa, Shukadev Goswami just cannot understand how great is Vasudev's character, his integrity, his commitment. Therefore, he speaks in 10.58, Kim dussahasam nasurat sadhunam vidusham kim apekshitam kim akaryam kadaryanam dustyajam kim dhitatmanam. What is painful for a saintly person? That what can a saintly person not do and not undergo in order to please the Supreme Lord? And then he gives and what can a characterless person not do just for his fulfillment? Both ways. What can a great personality not do, and what can a low person not do for their own cause? This is the fourth reason, to show to the world and to himself experience the greatness of Vasudeva and Devaki, their intense devotion. So that was the fourth reason. So it's time 9:30. Should I complete? Five more reasons are there, or do you want me to take in the next class? Can I quickly finish, or
Yes.
each reason as Haribol?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Continue, right? Okay, maybe 10 minutes, 10 minutes more. And fifth reason for Narada Muni instigating Kamsa was that till now Devaki and Vasudeva only heard that the cause of your death is going to appear, and from the eighth child of Devaki, but direct confirmation that it is directly the Supreme Lord, and especially it was a faceless advertisement. It was just like kind of a letter that came from nowhere, a voice that came from. So Narada Muni wanted to get the blessings of Devaki and Vasudeva by giving that confirmation that yes, the Lord is going to come. Otherwise, Akashvani spoke once, that too 1 year back when it had happened, and then when things start to happen slowly, then you kind of believe, did that really happen, and do we have to really persevere in the path of dharma? So Narada Muni wanted to give that assurance to Devaki and Vasudeva that the Lord is going to come, and especially Narada Muni is a known personality, and by him speaking this, he wanted to give a confirmation that Krishna is going to come, and that confirmation is going to give so much hope and faith that Narada Muni wanted blessings of Devaki and Vasudeva by giving that confirmation news that Krishna is going to come. Otherwise, it was only a faceless Akashvani that was spoken. So that was the fifth reason why Narada Muni instigated Kamsa. Sixth reason was to increase Devaki and Vasudeva's eagerness to see the Lord, because once there is double confirmation, then you are more eager. First was impersonal confirmation, but now there is a personal confirmation, and when by that eagerness, all the doubts that they were somehow or other keep, what if all the doubts that were harboring would have been drowned by the eagerness that came. So that was the sixth reason why, to increase the eagerness of Devaki and Vasudeva. And seventh reason why Narada Muni instigated Kamsa was not just to increase their eagerness, but also to give them great happiness and bliss, because the coming days, because it's not that Kamsa is going to allow Devaki and Vasudev have their children. The moment his mind changes, as I told the 5 reasons why Vasudev didn't believe in Kamsa's words. The moment he saw that things are not working and somebody else instigates Kamsa, then he would have killed. But by Narada Muni instigating and giving that confirmation, they would have great hope and be able to bear the pain because they got a personal confirmation. So even in the midst of chaos and uncertainty, there was something certain that is the words of a devotee. And this is very important, that the words of a devotee are that certainty. So many Prabhupada's disciples are living are hanging on their spiritual life on words that Srila Prabhupada spoke somewhere to them, and those are the words that they are hanging on to, because personal words when spoken have a great impact rather than just teachings that are like Akashvani sometimes. So a reason to keep them happy and blissful in spite of all the chaos and uncertainty, that there is some certainty that was very straightforwardly spoken by Narada Muni. 8th reason why Narada Muni instigated was that, okay, Krishna, the 6 sons will be born and Krishna will come and then he will kill Kamsa, but then who will deliver the sons of Marichi? The sons of Marichi were cursed that Kalanemi, who will take birth as Kamsa, will kill, and if they are spared, then their deliverance is at stake. Their deliverance is. So therefore, to ensure that Kalanemi, who is Kamsa now, kills his sons, of course the story is another story, and these are this Prabhupada, Vishnu Chakravarti, these 6 children that were killed are the 6 anarthas, that by the fear of material nature, that fear of positive fear, the devotee is afraid to get into this and he removes his anarthas. So that's the 8th reason. And the 9th reason is to make Kamsa favorable to him personally. This may seem like Narada Muni is using a situation to gain advantages for himself, but it was all for service. It was all for service that Kamsa wanted to make Narada Muni wanted to make Kamsa favorable to him by presenting some kind of false friendship to give faith in future occurrences where there will be situations where Narada Muni had to intervene, and therefore Narada Muni spoke these words by which Kamsa became really furious and doubtful, and in that anxiety he just went and expedited Krishna's appearance. And these are the 9 reasons that Acharyas give why Krishna appeared, why Narada Muni instigated Kamsa, and very beautiful reasons that also give us a lot of lessons. So I'll stop here and see if devotees have any questions or anything to add. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for such a beautiful class, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. I don't have any question, but it was so nice. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. The class was very wonderful. Very nice to hear all the reasons, and something that I really liked, which you were talking about, is about to make the word of a devotee is a certainty, and you were quoting Prabhupada. So that was very interesting. Thank you so much for reminding us of that point. And the class was very beautiful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. This class was so fascinating and informative. I'm looking forward to listening to the recording. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. So when we listen to all these pastimes and all these reasons for everything to happen, so it's always that there is some reason for this to happen. Like for the higher causes, these were the instigated reasons or everything. So if we have to apply this knowledge into our day-to-day life, what would be the exact understanding that we have to go through? Like, does this mean that the Lord is intervening with each and every step into our life? But at the same time, in Bhagavad Gita, we say that we learn that the Lord does not interfere with this material world. Then how do we relate everything into this current situation of our lives when things go right, wrong, anyways?
Mataji, karma is not an automatic law of the universe that impersonally happens. Even karma is an arrangement of Krishna. So everything that is happening is ultimately mercy of the Lord. Karma is an echo. You speak and you hear. That's Krishna's arrangement. There are some that can't hear. The same way it is Krishna's arrangement that each of us experience the result of our reactions. It is not something that we deserve. That because we did something to some tree, some lake somewhere, that we have to get, we are bound to get. There are so many in this world that do so much good, but they never reap the benefits of that. This world doesn't return to them. But Krishna ensures that it is done, so even something good or something bad that happens by karma is the mercy of the Lord. So everything, but just that it is an indirect form in which way the Lord is present in our life. So a devotee just becomes more and more aware that how much the Lord is all over me, indirectly, and how much He wishes that I interact with Him directly. A fish cannot live without water, and a jiva cannot live without Krishna. But just that it is because our intention is not to be, so Krishna is not manifesting. So therefore, to be able to see Krishna's hand and trying to come into the internal energy from the Mahamaya into the Yogamaya, anywhere, here or spiritual world, that is a journey we have to do. So it is not that we have to see that Krishna will help if we become pure devotees. We have to see that we have to become aware of how we are already dependent on Krishna. So that awareness is what is lacking, not Krishna, not from Krishna's part that he does something special. Of course he does special, but the devotee realizes the speciality when he becomes purified.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I would take leave here because I just got a message from our temple that I have to attend to something urgently now. So wish to again meet up the devotees. I really appreciate all of your sincerity to hear Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita every day. So keep going on, and sure we'll experience Krishna's mercy more and more. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you for coming on the call. We look forward to get your association more. Thank you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, हिज ग्रेस ब्रजमोहन प्रभु की जय.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.